getting these guys readied up. And I'll give them a countdown, all right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. Let's get rolling. Welcome to Super Mario Kart, everyone on Speed Gaming. Thank you for joining us. Mario Circuit 1, the very first track. One of the most iconic tracks on the game, probably next to Rainbow Road.
Yeah, I think it's the only track that has a Guinness Book of World Records record.
Yes,
by Sami Chetan.
Our dear leader Sami is the top of the line on that. All right, so Scoob missing a zoom start right away. It's
a kiss of death right there.
Hopefully that's not a bad sign for him. Joe, explain what is going on. Why are these guys moving through dirt and not losing speed?
Well, what they're trying to do is they're zigzagging left and right quickly as possible, and they're building an off-screen boost timer. And when they build up to enough, they release the R button, and that allows them to gain a momentary boost. It doesn't last forever, and that gives you full speed through any portion of the track that they choose to cut.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with all the later Mario Karts in the series, especially Double Dash and 64, you usually get a visual cue from when these boosts are built. You see on MK64 you got the E's and Z's and they change color. And so you know when to hit those. Sub-minute for Carl. I should say KVD.
KVD, that's right. Yeah, you saw a couple mistakes there, but relatively smooth sailing. 59 is pretty good for KVD. 101 not far behind Scoob.
Zoom start for KVD. Another missed one.
Man, another
Scoob.
missed zoom start, yeah.
These are pretty critical. If you looked at Scoob's splits, his first lap was 3 seconds off as all his other laps in the last race, where KVD just had like a second and a half or so, or maybe just a half second, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's not a very big window to hit that zoom start either. They're playing the NTSC Japanese version, and I think you have about 8 frames to hit the actual zoom start, so it's not a given, and these guys are used to PAL, so the timing's slightly different.
Yeah, it is a fairly small window. Is it just 8 frames? I thought it was 10 or 11.
I think it's 8. I'm not sure.
It sounds about right.
I think I think it's either 8 or I think it's 4 if you're not in first place, but time trial doesn't matter, so I think it's still the typical 8. And as you can see, I think they're using another modified boost strategy for this big grass cut in the middle of the track. They released the gas button. That gives you some extra wiggle room for the length of which the boost takes place. As you can see towards the ending there, both of them kind of cut as close to the wall as possible before the start-finish line, so they can cut just some precious frames.
A nice little historical note from that last track, Donut Plains 1. The boosting that you see these guys do, we call it NBT, New Boost Technique. It was discovered in 2001 by Jamie White, so I don't think it's really new anymore, but it's kind of stuck.
It's a 17-year-old new trick, so it's okay.
KVD going for the platform jump in. Forgot to hit the R button.
Also a very small window to hit this. It's I think only a few frames as well, so it's a very tricky and risky strat, and we hope that they went for it, so we can't really blame them for missing.
Scoob hit it and he blinked a little bit, so he was like just one pixel off, but he still made it across.
Oh, and then he just crashed there, so it's unfortunate. It gives some time for KVD to get back in this race.
This is the absolute perfect showcase. Oh, KVD not going for it. He's had enough of this garbage.
He's taking the less risky strat, of course. Can't say I blame him here.
Now you see these guys. You can kind of hear on Scoob's side of the stream when the engine revs. That's when
he missed the final one too.
That's when you get that little boost. Once you release it, you hear the engine rev.
Oh, we got a showdown now.
Now they are like perfectly synced.
They are almost
after all those falls. So with boosting, you can't get the visual cue to know when it's built up. It's kind of just instinct. But once it actually happens, hey, both zoom starts. Once it
Nice.
actually happens, you know that you've accomplished it by that little rev. And sometimes you saw on KVD's side with those first two, sometimes your cart sticks at a little bit of an angle, but you're still going straight forward.
Yeah, mostly it's an audio cue. Sometimes it's visual, like Dan said. But yeah, it's that little rev in the engine that tells you that you've pulled it off properly.
And on this game, how they designed it was if you're turning while holding R, that throws you into the power slide. And if you turn and hold R for a full second, it's a certain number of frames that totals pretty much 1 second exactly. If you do that and then counter steer and release R, that's what triggers the boost. But
And you'll see them a lot. I'm sorry.
These guys trick the game into thinking that they're turning the whole time with all these little zigzags. So that's why they can pull these off on these 90-degree turns.
Right, I was just going to add that you see them on a lot of big hairpins that you're constantly turning through, but on these 90-degree turns, you have to kind of wiggle back and forth so that the game is kind of tricked into thinking that you're turning for longer than you really are.
Also, another thing to point out, they're hopping over these little bits of lava because hitting these yellow jump bars seriously decreases your speed.
Yeah. And that was a really solid race by both Scoob and KVD there. I don't think there were any major mistakes.
Sure was. Mario Circuit 2. Hopefully Scoob gives us some exciting strats.
So this will be very interesting for the long boost strategies. What they're going to be trying to do is go over as many of these zippers at the end of this hairpin here and try to build up as much momentum as possible and then bounce off to the wall and then hit the zippers again and then fly across the track. And Carol hit his, but I think Scoob missed his.
Yeah, this is probably one of the riskiest strategies.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Big time loss.
Carol opting not to going for the second one.
now he's got a correct one, so...
Yeah, so he made up some time there. It can save quite a bit of time from the regular NBT strategy in this track, too, so... It's an advanced strategy for sure, and these guys are really good, but they're also kind of going half risky on it, as I can see.
Yes. So with the long boost, it can actually last all the way through that big sand area, but I've been seeing Scoob cut it off at the towards about 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, when done properly, you can maintain full speed all throughout the first, second, and third turns, which is insane. It's a really powerful boost.
It's a very interesting mechanic. It's widely used throughout Grand Prix and Match Race when you get a mushroom. Basically, you have to use a mushroom or hit arrows like this, hop into a wall, and actually release the gas to keep that long boost at full speed. So unusual, but very, very helpful if you can hit it properly.
And we're on to the next Flower Cup. We're at Chaco Island 1, and this will be showcasing the recently allowed strategy of the wall jump, as you can see on KVD's side here. I said recently allowed. I meant to say this earlier, but we have a community that's on MarioKartPlayers.com/SNK for all those who are interested in time trials. You can find all of us on there on the rankings for PAL and NTSC.
Yes, and on that website, currently, KVD is #1 in both PAL and NTSC mode.
And Scoob is not far behind. Yeah, #3 on NTSC. And these bumps on the road actually somewhat increase your speed a little bit. So they're going to want to hit some of those, and also it increases the length you can jump. So that's what the wall jump is all about. Properly executed by both players.
Yeah, from how I've understood it, like the bumps will maintain your speed as you hit them and throughout your time in the air. So if you're hitting them with a boost, you're actually increasing your speed, and the boost actually lengthens quite a bit.
That is correct. Ghost Valley 2 is a very, very difficult track. Lots of close corners, and I'm not sure they'll be going for the platform jump. It is easily the hardest in the game.
This platform jump is terrible.
It's almost impossible. Oh, you see Scuba actually just cut that corner a little close and bounce off the wall there. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, KVD has about a lap and a half advantage right now.
Just about, yeah. But anything can happen. There's still plenty of tracks to go.
And the thing is, we've passed Scoob's best track, at least relative to where KVD is on his ability, which was Mario Circuit 2. It was just unfortunate that 2 missed long boosts kind of doomed Scoob, probably for the rest of the race here.
Yeah, but he had to go for it. I know he's been practicing for a while recently, so it's something that, yeah, he might want to have back, but that's okay. He's still in this race. There's by no means is it over.
We have Fire Waster in chat saying that this platform jump is easy.
Yeah, we're all just big babies about it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Donut Plains 2, KVD's already on. He's on his second lap now. Relatively straightforward. You just want to boost as much as possible. So you're going to be also tight corners, a lot of loops, but yeah, enough areas to build some boosts and gain some momentum. Maybe lengthen his lead over Scoob here if he just has a clean race.
That's a big danger right there.
And as soon as I say it, I happen to just jinx him.
Yeah, also, first instances that you see Monty Moles or Gophers or whatever you want to call these things, Humperdee-Winkles. That's what I always call them.
I don't think I can call them what I call them on the air right now, so we'll just go ahead and leave that alone.
All right, we'll leave that alone. If you do happen to hit one of those, they pretty much stop you in your tracks. And then you have to tap the hop buttons over and over and over again to bounce them off.
Or left and right. I think left and right works as well.
Oh, really? I was not aware of that. Over 25
I think that's a strategy I
years,
use.
this game has been in existence, and I'm learning something new right now.
Sometimes it helps doing commentary for a race we've known for 25 years.
Yeah. Originally, I thought the only way to get the Humperdee-Winkles off you was to drive into the water.
That's the beginner strat.
Worst strategy. KVD moves on to Bowser Castle 2, the longest course on the game. If he pulls a sub 140, I would be shocked. But that's...
As you can see, the thwomps are in the air for all of lap 1, so those aren't going to be a hazard. But when they fall in lap 2, they can be at any random spot, and sometimes you have to modify where the best line is, because they'll either be down or up, and it's just completely random.
Yeah, obviously for optimal strats, you're always going to want to go as far inside as you can, but with that wall of 4 sitting right there, that's probably not going to happen.
No, I imagine them, especially with the lead that KVD has now, I imagine he's going to be taking it pretty safe.
I doubt these guys are watching each other's streams, so...
No, that's true. I guess he doesn't know. Yeah.
I'm thinking they're just going and trying to get the best times that they can.
Fair point, Dan. Fair point.
KVD at the 2 junctions has been going right-left, which is... Going left at the second junction is actually the slowest that you can do. So right here where he's going now, he's been going left. Much easier.
The faster strategy. Yeah.
Yes, and Scoob is going to the right in that second junction.
Although
and
he just
I say that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not much else to be said about this track besides, yeah, just consistent lava jumping. Those the last 4 jumps are very, very difficult, but they've been pulling them off. I guess 3 jumps, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. Although slightly easier in NTSC, I guess I should say.
All right, Mario Circuit 3 for KVD. This is the death of hands if you ever do a long session trying to just play this course and get a PB on it.
This one is a boosting extraordinaire. This is This is just a lot of zigzagging back and forth, a lot of big hairpins, a lot of big winding turns. It's got a little bit of everything. It's always been one of my favorite tracks for sure.
And it's been one of my most hated.
To each their own, Dave. To each their own.
Oh, it's terrible.
Not nearly as bad as some later tracks that we'll get to.
One thing I would like to point out at this moment, since we didn't earlier, KVD using Bowser, Scoob using Donkey Kong Jr., they have the exact same stats. They both go the same top speed, both turn the same, both accelerate with the same crappiness. But
yeah, it's just a sprite swap. They have all the exact same, I guess, attributes.
Yeah, and that's kind of how the characters are set up in this game. They just have the pairs of each character. Like Mario and Luigi are the same attributes. Yoshi and Princess, and then these two, and then of course what seems to be everyone's favorite, Koopa and Toad. But they're honestly the worst in the game, because they're so slow.
They have their moments, though. For beginners, they have a much different way of their turning radius is a lot different. So if you make yourself, or if you are just picking up the game, it might be a little bit easier to handle those guys as opposed to the big guys.
So someone in this commentary used to have a world record on KVD's current track, Koopa Beach 1.
That is correct. And I wrote this big definition about how to boost because of this track, so yeah.
And this is probably one of the more technical tracks, even though it's so short. Can you explain a little bit what's going on here, Joe?
Sure. I have dubbed a few of these water slides in different manners because they aren't all the same. But what he's trying to do is essentially gain a boost in the very first turn, a big boost through the big lake, I guess. Release the gas so that you can actually maintain full speed onto that small strip of island that you land onto. Hit the gas button again, build another boost, and then slingshot through that one, and then build another boost, and then jump over this deep cut of water. And to do all that successfully in one lap is incredible. Doing it 5 times in a row is difficult.
Yeah, so water sliding, if you're going top speed and you start a power slide as you jump into the water, and then I've always just released just about everything except the B button, the gas button. Release R, release the direction that you're facing. You actually don't lose any speed. And then you couple that with an NBT boost, which makes you keep your top speed all throughout any off-road portion. You're just doubling that length that you can go through water without losing any speed. So that's why these guys are pulling low 50s on here.
Yeah, but to do all that and to do water slides correctly and not lose speed is a very, very difficult task to undertake. But now we're back onto another Chaco Island, Chaco Island 2. This is another pretty technical boosting strategy. They're going to want to build a boost through that middle portion of the wall, build a boost here, and then build the boost on the right, and then release the gas again through the big mud lake. And if all done correctly, you should see them coming out to the left side so they can get back to dry land again as quickly as possible and maintain full speed.
Yeah, it's all about maintaining speed on this course.
Yeah, any sort of loss of momentum, it really throws off the mechanics and the physics of the racer. So they want to be at full speed at all times so they can predict how the cart's going to react in a certain way. And any slight loss of speed will pretty much derail them. But these guys are incredibly good at time trials, so they're maintaining speed a lot. Yeah, and now you want to maybe mention I'm sorry, but you want to maybe mention the other strategy that's not water slides, but now we have snow slides. And Dan, take it away.
Yeah, Vanilla Lake 1. You've seen KVD actually hit a few blocks on purpose to clear out a little bit of a pathway. If you hop and you're midair as you hit that block, you will maintain your momentum. And then on this last corner especially, you get the snow slide mechanic. It's the exact same as water sliding. You won't lose speed.
I guess it's also important to point out that sometimes you'll see these guys go into slight damage control. So when they know they're about to come close to a wall, you'll see them bounce into it. And that will make them kind of bounce back, but also kind of still maintain full speed. If they just hit the wall straight on without bouncing or jumping beforehand, they'll just stop dead in their tracks, and they're trying to avoid that at all costs.
Give a little shout out to Firewaster, who kind of came up with the strat that these guys are using on this. Build up a boost on after the first corner, snow slide on the second corner, and then a boost through that longer area of ice, because the physics of ice is very, very different too. Makes you slide all over the place. It's like basically you're holding R the entire time.
Oh, you see Carol, I'm sorry, KVD, he had a line of thwomps on BC3, then they were all down, and he tried to pull off the thing, and actually he successfully did so, where he kind of tricked the game into thinking there were no thwomps there by being so close to the left that he actually made it through without actually having to slow down. That was incredible. That's a really advanced strategy. But he had no other choice.
Yeah, if you hit the wall at I don't know if it's pixel perfect or if you have a 2-pixel window.
It's got to be close to pixel perfect, yeah.
You hit the wall just to the left of that leftmost thwomp, you will just bounce right through. Obviously, not the fastest, not optimal, but you do what you gotta do in a one try.
Got him through, and he still maintained full speed. He may have bounced off the back wall, but that's okay.
These guys have both taken one lava bath in here.
Oh, KVD just hit the thwomp wall.
Yeah, he guessed that thwomp number 2 would be up, and
Scoob just
number 1.
Yeah, Scoob just hit a wall, but he was able to bounce through, like the technique I just explained. He was able to jump into him and bounce off and still kind of maintain full speed. So good damage control there by Scoob.
Now KVD is going into the second longest and probably most boring race on the game.
It is a boost showcase though, so it's still again one of my favorites.
Somewhat new technique that Scoob came up with. We'll see when he gets there if he tries to pull this off. On the one big hairpin right in the middle of the track, you build up a boost and then intentionally drive into the wall, and then you release that boost, and it actually cuts the corner really tight. So you kind of see KVD on that particular turn. He kind of drifts a little bit wide and almost into the sand, but he still maintains. He still stays on the road, and he's also building up a boost here. But we'll see.
So we'll see if Scoob goes for this. No, I guess he's just going to go classic style. He's got about a 2-lap deficit right now. I don't think he knows that, but yeah, I think he's just going to try to play it safe.
He's got to have that feeling, though, after Mario Circuit 2. That's for sure in the back of his head right now. But, I mean, there's really not much he can do in a racing game speedrun. I mean, if the other guy executes after you fail a trick twice,
yeah,
it's pretty much over unless that other guy fails.
But you also don't know what happened on the Bowser Castles, because those aren't gimmies either. So, and of course the Koopa Beaches.
And we have probably the ultimate time save for Scoob coming up. If KVD really goes hard at Rainbow Road,
oh yeah,
he could take a couple falls, a couple star thwomp hits, and it could become total disaster very, very quickly.
That is true.
I don't know if it'll be enough for Scoob to catch up if that would happen to KVD, but you never know.
Yeah, no lead is safe, like we said. Did you want to plug an upcoming event, Dan?
What, something coming up in August?
I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. Maybe not.
Okay. And I see Scoob just hit the final corner there. Only cost him a couple of seconds, so she should be alright. Donut Plains 3 is the current track that KVD is on. This is a very, very technical track. This, as you can see, he just made a mistake and hit the water, then drowned in the lake. Very, very tight lanes or avenues, I guess, and this is a very, very difficult track. Boosting here is incredibly difficult because there's not a lot of time in which to do so or space. So any boost that you can pull off is a good one.
Yeah, and the strategy that they're trying to pull off, building up a boost on that first bridge and then cutting all the way across the grass just before the second bridge, and then you have to turn all the way back to the left.
Yeah, that's hard.
And
And then
then
you still have to
hop
make that
that
jump.
Oh, that sucks.
Making that jump is difficult.
It's probably one of the toughest strats on the game for time trial.
For sure.
And I mean, I remember starting this strategy and I just had no clue what was going on. Eventually I got it, but yeah, I would rather forget that I ever played this course.
I think most of us want to just forget that this track exists. Okay, now I'm sorry.
One little interesting bit right where Scoob is right now. Those little pieces of track that are kind of colored, shaded differently, though that's bad track. And it's just like ice physics on that. But having a boost that you built up from the hairpin previous to it, it actually makes your kart stick to the track a little bit.
Yeah, also holding R through it helps as well. Holding R in this game is a very, very important minor strategy, but it's something that unless you knew, you wouldn't know that actually made a huge difference. But yeah, holding R through that little portion of the track actually kind of matters a lot in this game.
KVD having some fish trouble on the last lap, trying to do his slide boost through this area. Kind of got in his way, and then he hit deep water and took a little bit of a swim.
And in this track, we're not having a lot of time because we're kind of trying to pay attention to both streams here, but so we'll pay attention to Scoop for the moment. This green portion that he's cutting through, you don't have to boost through it. Sometimes you can avoid it just by hopping through. It's very, very difficult because you need to be pretty much pixel perfect in order to hit the dry land beneath. But yeah, you can cut off major portions of tracks just by hopping through it if you need to. But I think they're just going to try to boost just to make sure that they don't lose any speed.
KVD,
and again, pretty much boosting whatever you can in this track as well. Yeah, he's having some rough goes at the last couple of tracks here. So maybe Scoops can catch up.
So Ghost Valley 3, I haven't jinxed them yet, but I'm going to right now. This platform is the easiest to make of all of them. Oh, and he hit that one. So
it's on the Scoop.
So maybe somewhat infamously, I don't know. When KVD raced against Neo at AGDQ a couple years ago, I said that exact line, and KVD just drops right on the platform jump first time. I was trying to pull it off again, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, aside from the that almost disastrous attempts at jinxing Carol or KVD, Scoob is having a pretty good race so far. He's hit the platform jump each time. This is another straightforward track. I think it's the third to last track. Is it the fourth to last track? Third? Yeah. Okay. So precious little time for Scoob to catch up here, but he's almost a lap and a half behind, looks like. Or 2 laps.
We blinked right there on that platform.
Blinking, what he's referring to is that he was about a frame away from missing, and the game thought that he did, but he was actually had enough speed and I guess just enough time to make that jump.
KVD's on Vanilla Lake 2, which is kind of one of his specialties. He's not going for the absolute hardest optimal strats, and I cannot blame him whatsoever.
No, this is another technically sound track. You're going to be seeing him jump an awful lot because any extended period of time on the ice is extremely difficult to maintain a good racing line, so he's just going to be bouncing through the whole track.
Yeah, again, those ice physics. If you try to turn without holding the R button, it's just going to throw you off so bad. So it's all jump.
Oh, he goes for the island jump.
God. He pulled it off, but then
right before the finish line,
hit water on the NTSC jump.
Oh boy.
And that probably cost him a good 5.5 seconds right there.
Yeah, but he's got enough of a lead, and Scoob just crashed too. So okay. Oh well.
And, it's pretty much game, set, match for KVD at this point.
It's almost a formality, but that's okay.
We're on to Rainbow Road. KVD has been streaming quite a lot. He is chasing an unofficial world record by a Japanese Mario Kart player that calls himself Marisa Suityu. I think I'm saying it right.
Marisa.
Marisa.
That's right.
The time he's chasing is 1:23:51, I believe.
Yes,
Or is it 1:20? Yeah, it's 1:23, not 1:24.
that's correct.
Yes, get out your Kappa Prides and chat, everybody. Scoob is also chasing an unofficial world record. Unofficial
By the same person too.
Yeah, same person. It's not on our player's site. That player doesn't belong to our community for some reason or another.
The Japanese like to kind of keep it on their own, which is okay. I understand that. But they've posted some videos about their amazing world records, and we've just been trying to catch them ourselves because we feel like we can do it. And it's just something that KVD's been trying at a lot at this track, and Scoob's been trying a lot at MC2.
Yeah, the time that Scoob is chasing on Mario Circuit 2 is the only sub 1 minute time that is known to exist, 59:97.
It's an incredible time.
He's pushed the time down to like 1 minute flat 65 or something like that.
Yeah, I think he recently lowered it again, but yeah, I think that's.
I think KVD on this track with a almost 126, fairly conservative, solid race from him.
Oh, very solid, yeah.
KVD has about, I don't know, 0.2 of a second to go. It's going to take a lot to find that on Rainbow Road, but now that he's done, GG to Carl, and
KVD
we'll try
is
to
the
get
winner.
him in here.
And now Scoob's on his final lap. I imagine it'll go relatively well, but I don't want to jinx him, of course. These platforms aren't very easy as well. They're not platform, but cornering, if you will.
And
overall, very, very solid showcase by both these players.
And KVD has joined us. Once he unmutes his microphone, we'll get him in here. Come on, KVD. Unmute.
Things are going smoothly.
No, we cannot hear you. KVD is typing to us in the Discord.
Oh, sounds
now
like
I can hear you.
Yeah. If he would just talk.
We got some static going on.
And it doesn't show a muted mic, so those are pluses. No, still can't hear you, KV.
Well, this is... Well, apparently KVD can hear us and he's talking, but we cannot hear him.
I don't think it's our fault, Dan. I think those Europeans just can't figure out technology.
It's got to be the mic. What a nice anticlimactic interview after that awesome race right now.
KVD, you're the current winner of the race. How do you feel?
Yeah. Speaks in Dutch. I don't know.
I was just hoping for dead air for like the next 2 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, we got the static, but we just don't have any KVD voice. Sigh.
Yep, sad trombone. Oh well. Well, Dan, how'd you feel about the run?
Scoop saying he should have warmed up a little.
Yeah, it's always a good thing to maybe practice before a race. I don't know.
One or two. He had two missed long boosts on Mario Circuit 2 and had to do the loop again both times.
Oh, did he really?
Culminating in an almost 30-second first lap.
Yeah. Also, plus the missed zoom starts kind of at the very, very beginning didn't help matters in Scoop's favor at all. See, we heard more static from Carol's mic.
I think he was unplugging and replugging the microphone.
Yo, 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 yo.
Okay, now
we got him. Okay, good. All right.
So you figured it out. Well done.
If that worked. No. Technology.
So KVD,
Right.
you won by about, I'd say, 20 seconds? Maybe a little bit more than that. It was about a 2-lap lead in Rainbow Road. So,
Yeah, Scoob had some trouble on Mario Circuit 2.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that, Scoop. I mean, I was not exactly my test with flying colors, so...
Yeah, you took a kind of conservative jump, or long boost. And I think he was going for the I guess like
For the world record?
insane. Yeah, I think he was going for the live world record on Mario Circuit 2, which maybe backfired a bit, but it was still a very good showing.
You did say you would, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of did ask you guys to do that, so it's kind of partially our responsibility.
At least the long boosts that did work were probably pretty spectacular then.
Oh, the ones that he hit, they looked phenomenal.
Well, they were fast, but he kind of played it a
is
little
Dan
bit
gone?
safer.
Oh, Dan's right there.
No, what are you talking about? He kind of played it a little bit safe towards the end of the long boost instead of carrying it out all the way past that.
I gotta say, some courses went pretty well, but I was not playing my
KVD
A game.
must not hear me.
I don't think you can hear you, Dan. Can he hear me but not Dan?
No.
Hey, KVD, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't think you can hear me anymore.
Can you hear me? Obviously not. Tell KVD
Oops.
to right-click on my username and then bring the volume up.
Man, oh well. We got about 30 good seconds of material in there, though, so that was... I would just say unplug and plug it back in.
Yeah, it's
That
all
seems
good.
it always works that way.
So, Joe, you were kind of watching KVD a little bit more.
I was.
How many Zoom starts did he miss?
I don't think he missed any of them.
My God, that is so uncharacteristic for him. He misses at least 5 or 6 throughout.
Yeah, I think my coaching, my subtle coaching for him for the past 12 years has really helped out. So, yeah, it's only taken him 12 years to finally nail all.
It work now? Can you hear me?
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear KVD. I don't think he can hear. Okay, he can hear us. Okay, we can definitely hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. This
Yeah, I
content
can hear you
is
then.
fantastic.
All right, good.
For all the mess ups, folks.
So,
KVD
Dan asked a question. Yeah, did you hit every single Zoom start today?
Would you believe it?
Did you? Yeah, did you? I think you did hit them all. So that was the game changer right there.
It really was. I think Scoob missed 5 or 6 of them, including the
Oh,
first
wow.
2. So he kind of dug himself a hole, but then you guys were exactly synced up after Ghost Valley 1. I
That
think
is
you
true.
missed 2 platform jumps and he missed 1. So that was
Yeah.
that tied it up. But then he missed the long boost on Mario Circuit 2 twice on the first lap and had to redo the loop both times.
Oh man, I was afraid of that. I was
So
deadly afraid of that.
I think he had a 29-second lap 1 on that course, and that was pretty much game over for him at
Because
that point.
after that, you try to compensate and drive more aggressively, and that
Yeah.
usually backfires. But you have to.
Yeah, that was a deep spot for him to get out of, and yeah,
So
I know you
kind of-
guys couldn't see each other's streams, but for the last, I guess, 15 tracks,
We
it
had
was
a
just,
30-second lap
all
that you're-
systems go. Yeah, 30-second lap. That's hard to really come back from, especially on a short track like MC2.
So
I
Scoob
was in the
is
same
saying,
scenario. I was in the same scenario at HDQ last year. When
Yeah,
I was winning by like 10 seconds against Sami, I just had to push it more and more and more, and then eventually you crumble.
yeah.
so Scoob is in the speed gaming chat, and he's saying it's more like 10 missed Zoom starts.
You missed 10? Wow.
So if we were going on the rules from last year when you did this run for SNES Superstars KVD, he would have to do 100 push-ups right now.
Oh,
I think you did 20 or 30 last year.
I did 20, I remember, yeah.
all those push-ups were.
I don't think I've ever done 100 in a row.
Jeez.
All KVD ever did with those push-ups was just take his headset and hit the mic on the ground 20 times.
No, I actually did them. I actually did them then. I'm not that guy.
Oh boy. Well, I think your damage control was very good, KVD. I know that you had a couple of I guess turns that didn't go so well, but then I think after that you kind of compensated for it properly. You bounced off the wall a couple times, and I think the thwomp control in Bowser Castle 3 was very good. I noticed that one portion where you had to do the frame perfect jump to the left of all 4 of them, and that went out pretty well for you.
Yeah, exactly. Except in the final lap, I mismanaged a little bit because the thwomp on the right was like going up. It kind of gambled that I could go underneath, and then in the end, it came smashing down right before me. That was fine. I think Vanilla Lake 1 in terms of damage control was probably the best one.
That was a solid race.
I ricocheted off everything, and I somehow just kept speed. So that was pretty cool.
KVD, your favorite fish on Koopa Beach 2. How did you like that? I think it was lap 3 that he got in your way.
We were actually in the worst possible spots there for a little bit. And the one that made me drown, that was placed like very, very far left, where it rarely is. So my route in one tries is based on the idea that the fish very rarely goes to the far left. So yeah, so that's my favorite fish. Yes.
Right. What else you got, Dan? Because I don't remember much else besides damage control and then that one fish. I think you had a couple lava falls in Bowser Castle 3, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, I had one. Yeah.
Yeah, one. Yeah, I think Scoob had 2.
Each had one.
Okay, each had one.
KVD, I tried so hard to jinx you on Ghost Valley 3. I told everyone this is the easiest platform jump, and you just made every single one of them.
I did fall in somewhere else.
yeah, you were building the boost for the final corner, and you took a fall on one of the teeth or something.
Almost never crashed there before, but yeah. I mean, in a one try, obviously in time trial attempts for world records, you fall everywhere, but yeah. In one tries, I've never fallen there.
Until today.
Like marathon luck, eh? I want to do a quick shout out to thuisbezorg.nl for delivering my food today, so I could play.
I want to give a shout out to grocery grinding in grocery world. Shout out to Pete.
Sorry for the inside meme jokes, folks.
I asked Dan if he wanted to plug a certain event coming up, but I will let you guys take care of that.
Yeah, sometime in August. I don't know.
I don't know what it is either.
It happens in France. No one goes to it.
Yeah, it's France, so who really cares, right?
Head out, right? I mean, the next race is about to start in a few minutes.
As soon as Myth tells us, "Hey, get out of here."
Yeah, so we can just
keep on. A few more minutes.
Yeah,
next match is in 6 minutes, he says. So actually 3 minutes left. Scoob pressing on a little bit with Mario Circuit 2 while we chat here. But yes, this event that I have avoided talking about the whole time. Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah, he's going to go for the world record.
Are our feet still watchable?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, okay. Maybe.
Also still there. Selecting Ghost Valley 1 right now.
So anyway, in August, second to last week of August, I believe, True. CDM, Championnat de Mario Kart, I don't know, I don't speak French. So Mario Kart World Championships, basically. 4-day event, all the best racers in the world gather together and have some sort of point system that they put together. KVD always gets silver in time trial.
Yep,
that's a tradition unlike no other.
Every single time.
Never the bride, always the bridesmaid, right?
Every time. You can watch it on twitch.tv/FFSMK. French Federation of Super Mario Kart is what that stands
That's true.
for.
And actually, I might add a little thing that it might be held in the Netherlands. There's like a 50% shot.
I thought I saw it
if
was
that is the
Strasbourg.
case, I will definitely want to go because that sounds like a extraordinary time, and I'd love to see the Netherlands at some point.
You will not be disappointed if you do.
You would be disappointed.
Would not.
Not be disappointed.
Well, you'd have to put me up for a week, just so you know.
Expect a lot of bikes.
Oh, I don't bike for nobody. No, I'll be renting a car. Thank you very much.
Sure, you will.
If I have to go like down the street to the store, I am getting an Uber. I'm just gonna hail that. They have that there, don't they? Yeah, most likely. They probably have it just on a bike though.
So, what would you say was Scoop's best race?
What was his best race? I guess it's a solid DP2. I didn't see him crash anywhere on that track. And he was making up some ground. His BC2, DP2, Donut Plains 2, Bowser Castle 2. Those are good races. I think most of the middle tracks were not that bad. He just had a really awful start in Mario Circuit 1 and Donut Plains 1, where he just missed the zoom starts. And then it was just kind of trying to catch up. And then I think he just took too much of a lead for him to really ever kind of come back.
So I thought I was behind after Mushroom Cup because of the falls on Ghost Valley 1, obviously.
Yeah, but he was also going for him too. So I know you didn't know that at the time, but
I
yeah.
kind of assumed you wouldn't crash them twice because it's not that hard.
No, NTSC is a little bit better than PAL for that regard, but yeah.
Yeah, because I usually get at least 4 out of 5. Practice Ghost Valley on a little bit because I know we would be doing this, and you guys dared us to do it.
Yes.
And I would always get at least 4 or 5. But yeah. And it's kind of a different ball game, I suppose.
I was happy that you guys did actually go for them and not just placate and said, "Oh yeah, of course we're gonna go for them," and not. So that ended up working out pretty well.
Yeah, VL2 island jump in the last lap, but that also kind of backfired in the end.
Yeah, we both noticed that. We thought it was very, very time, but then you hit him and then you missed the final jump.
Yeah, the final jump is actually maybe the hardest part.
Yeah, because the line's a little different because you're not coming at the same angle.
Also, I'd like to point out that Sami actually did that live at HDQ and didn't crash.
Let's just all give it up to Sami.
Well, not to rain on our parade, guys, but I think Speed Gaming wants to kick us out about now. Mythical said that they had just a few minutes, probably got some awesome Link to the Past randomizer or Mario 3 or Mario 1. One of the 100,000 tournaments that Speed Gaming 1 through 4 has been putting on for the last year or so. I have been glued to my computer screen. Hopefully everyone else is. Follow the runners, SMK_machine for KVD and Scoob SMK for Scoob. I'm Dan H for Joe Reinreb. And
thank you very
I
much.
Will sign off.
I just want to thank everybody for this. I had a great time, KVD. We'd like to go to the Netherlands sometime, so hopefully that works out for us. But yeah, thank you for having me on there. I hope you did well, and thanks to the runners, thanks to Speed Gaming. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, Speed Gaming, and keep up the awesome work.
Okay, well that's it. Over and out.